I had a fantastic weekend. I went to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship football game. I went to Northwestern. That was my alma mater. It was the first time they'd ever played in the game, so I met up with a bunch of college buddies. We went. Unfortunately, lost to Ohio State, but had a great time. But one thing that happened was got to Indianapolis, which was a great city to host this game. Everybody was very friendly, great restaurants and bars. And one thing Indianapolis has right now is scooters you can rent, motorized scooters you can rent. You download an app, and you rent a scooter, and you can just ride it down the street and go where you're going next. And I pretty immediately, after doing that, fell off the scooter and hurt myself pretty badly. Making it all the worse was 5 minutes before I fell off my scooter, I sent an iPhone video to my wife of me on the scooter saying, and these were my exact words, "Look at me, I am young and cool." I fell so hard off the scooter that people on the other side of the street went, "Oh!" And then I did that thing when you fall and you're embarrassed, so I got up right away and started walking to show everybody I was fine, but the gait that I had made it very clear that I was not fine. I was definitely favoring one side of my body. It landed on my wrist. I hurt my wrist pretty bad, and that was difficult because when you go to a weekend like that where you keep running into people you went to college with, you constantly have to shake their hands. I met a lot of ex-football players who played at Northwestern when I was there, and even when my hand is fine, it's going to get hurt a little bit by an ex-football player. And in this situation, it got hurt a lot. And I was in a situation where I could have said, "Oh, I can't shake your hand, I hurt my wrist," but then that would lead to the next question, "What happened to your wrist?" And then I'd have to say I fell off a scooter. I feel so bad for my wife, who was so fantastic when I asked if I could go to Indianapolis this football game. And she said, "Of course, despite the fact that we have 2 young children, I want you to go. I want you to have a fun time." And then I show home. I get home and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't pick up the babies." I hurt my wrist on a scooter. A 44-year-old man. She shouldn't have to say to me when I go on vacation, "Hey, this goes without saying, don't get on a scooter." We were in the hotel with the families and the players of the game, and at one point, I was about to go out, and this guy came over to me and said, "Hey, I'm the father of the tight end. Will you say his name on the show?" And I said, "I will say his name on the show if he gets 100 yards receiving or scores a touchdown." And he said, "How about 50 yards?" And I said, "Fine," because I had just shaken his hand and I was in so much pain I couldn't negotiate. But unfortunately, his son did not get 50 yards or a touchdown. He got 42 yards. So I regret to say that I will not be mentioning Bennett Skowronek's name on the show tonight, because you did not meet those numbers. But it was fantastic. You had a great season. It was great watching you on Saturday night.